skull and crossbones, Keres, the death spirits of Greek mythology. Crossed swords origins, daughters of Nyx, the goddess of night. The Keres Caparopsilon were fearsome spirits of violent death, doom, and carnage, feared even by the mightiest warriors of ancient Greece. They were the daughters of Nyx, the primordial goddess of night, and siblings to other terrifying deities such as Thanatos, death, Moros, doom, Hypnos, sleep, and Nemesis, retribution. Unlike Thanatos, who represented a peaceful death, the Keres thrived in bloodshed, war, and plague. They were relentless harbingers of destruction, their presence signifying an impending violent demise. According to legend, the Keres were unleashed upon the battlefield, swooping down like vultures upon the fallen, drinking the blood of the wounded, and dragging souls to the underworld. Their role in warfare was so feared that warriors would pray to avoid their grasp, calling upon the gods to shield them from a fate worse than death. Ogre appearance, the winged demons of death. The Keres were depicted as monstrous, winged spirits draped in black, with blood-stained claws, glowing red eyes, and razor-sharp teeth. They moved through battlefields like shadows, seeking the souls of the dying. Their horrifying visages were said to strike terror into all who saw them, as they carried an aura of inevitable doom. Some sources even described them as resembling giant, fanged harpies, but with a far more sinister and malevolent nature. In battle, they would hover over wounded soldiers, waiting for them to breathe their last breath before tearing their souls from their bodies and dragging them screaming into the depths of Hades. Some myths even suggest that they fed upon the blood of the dying, reveling in the chaos and suffering of war. Unlike Thanatos, who took souls gently, the Keres showed no mercy. Their touch brought agony, despair, and a violent, gruesome end. Crossed swords, the Keres on the battlefield. The Keres played a significant role in epic battles of Greek mythology, where they were believed to circle like vultures, eagerly awaiting their next victim. In Homer's Iliad, they are described as flying over the battlefield, seeking those who would soon perish. Warriors prayed not to fall victim to the Keres, as their embrace was one of suffering and horror. In some versions of the myth, the Keres were seen guiding the fates of the warriors, deciding who would live and who would die. Their presence was inevitable and unstoppable, marking the end of those who had no hope left. Some believed that before battle, Ares, the god of war, would summon the Keres, unleashing them to feast upon the carnage of the battlefield. They followed him like shadows, feeding off the destruction and chaos that he brought. Unlike the Moire fates, who spun the destinies of all mortals, the Keres did not weave fate. They merely acted as executioners, fulfilling the doom that had already been decided. Shield escaping the Keres. Could they be stopped? Unlike many other death-related deities, the Keres were nearly impossible to stop. They were relentless in their pursuit of souls, and once they had marked a person for death, there was almost no escape. However, in some legends, heroes blessed by the gods were able to fight off the Keres and avoid their grasp. One of the most famous stories involving the Keres comes from Heracles, Hercules. According to some myths, Heracles, in his great strength, was able to physically drive back the Keres, preventing them from taking the souls of fallen warriors. Additionally, Prayers to Zeus or Athena were sometimes believed to provide temporary protection from the Keres, allowing warriors to survive battles they were destined to lose. However, in the end, all mortals would eventually succumb to their fate, and when the time came, the Keres would return to claim their due. Fire. The role of the Keres in Greek mythology. The Keres embodied the most terrifying aspects of death, not peaceful slumber, but pain, suffering, and chaos. Their presence in mythology served as a reminder of the brutal and inevitable nature of mortality, particularly in times of war. They were often associated with plague and disease, as violent and painful deaths were often attributed to their influence. War and carnage, where they feasted upon the fallen. Doom and destruction, ensuring that none could escape their fate. The Greeks feared and respected the Keres, recognizing them as part of the natural order of life and death, but one that they prayed to avoid at all costs.